Well, today I want to talk about the power of 5-minute chunks of time, but not for the reason that you think. Can we get a ton done in 5 minutes, whether we're tidying, cleaning, or decluttering? Absolutely, but there's an even more important reason why I think you should be using a 5-minute burst of time, and I'll tell you what it is coming up next. All right, today is gonna be fun. I wanna show you the power of what we can get done in 5 minutes, because we know how it goes. If you're scrolling on social media, 5 minutes flies by, right? But when it comes to tidying up our house, cleaning, or decluttering, the hard part is often just getting started. So today I wanna show you some side-by-side comparisons of what we can get done in 5 minutes, but more importantly, I wanna tell you why it's so powerful. And it's not because we get the island cleared off, it's something much more important and valuable. So we're gonna demonstrate a few things today. The 5-minute tidy, taking 5 minutes to clean, and also 5 minutes of decluttering. And we're gonna start right here in the kitchen with a quick 5-minute tidy. So I don't know about you, but the constant struggle for me is, if I get 5 minutes of downtime, do I take it to drink some coffee and scroll Instagram, or watch a YouTube video, or do I use it to tidy up? So let's compare the difference. 5 minutes of scrolling versus 5 minutes of tidying. Okay, so we all know, does 5 minutes of tidying visually, it makes a big difference, right? 5 minutes of picking up, we've talked about that before. Like, it makes a big difference with how our house feels. But what I've come to learn more recently, what the actually bigger, better byproduct of 5 minutes is how we feel about ourselves. Because I'm like you, when I look around and the house is a mess, I feel stressed. I mean, that's proven, that's a scientific fact. We feel more stressed when there's clutter around us. But I also start to feel bad about myself. I feel lazy, I feel unorganized, I feel like I'm a messy person. I question, how am I gonna get motivated to get this done? I compromise, I say, whatever, I'll do it again tomorrow. But when I take 5 minutes to tidy up or to clean or to tackle a project that I've been putting off, mentally, I feel better about myself. I feel like, okay, I can do this. I'm not lazy. I can do this. And often what happens is, once you get going, we all know this. Once you get going, you end up going further, right? Then you're like, well, I'm just gonna sweep quick. I'm just gonna wipe down the counters quick. I'm just gonna work another 5 minutes on this project that I've been putting off. And so I think the biggest benefit of 5-minute chunks of time isn't the actual work that gets done, it's what goes on inside our head and how we feel about ourselves once it's done. We feel encouraged, we feel like we've done something productive, and we stop beating ourselves up. But another thing is that 5 minutes really is the way to combat so many things that get in the way of our productivity. Whether you have little kids or big kids or kids with extra needs, whether you're single and you have no one to hold you accountable, whether you have a really demanding job, whether you have a spouse that doesn't chip in, whether you have energy limitations or physical disabilities or limitations, whether you're caring for a loved one or going back to school. Have I hit your limitation yet? We all have these things. And so 5 minutes, it can overcome all of them. And so this is truly one of my most effective tactics now for both keeping our house clean, for getting the house decluttered, and for tackling frog projects or projects that I absolutely don't want to do, or just overcoming lack of motivation. Setting a timer for 5 minutes is my favorite tip and tactic for all of those things. Oh man, I'm just about to wipe off the counter, but the timer went off, so we are going to respect it. I am gonna wipe down the counter real quick though. I mean, once you get this far, you can't stop, right? So let's look at the comparison. 5 minutes on Instagram versus 5 minutes of tidying. Do we still need to load the dishwasher? Yes, but now I can send one of the kids in here to finish up, right? This makes a huge difference, not just for me and how I feel about the kitchen now, but everyone who walks in here from our household is gonna feel better about it too. So we're almost done here, so let's move on to some other areas of the house and see what else we can get done in 5 minutes. All right, so here we are in the bathroom. I could spend 5 minutes watching a clean with me video on YouTube to get motivated, you know, and to learn some new cleaning tips, or I could spend 5 minutes cleaning. Let's see which makes a bigger difference. And I'm truly not going a minute longer than 5 minutes. Get it set. I was talking to my friend Lynn just today, and she said, you know, Dawn, I've really found that if you just do a little bit of cleaning every day, It doesn't make it daunting, you don't get behind. And as I thought about it more, I think that if you haven't been able to stick with a cleaning routine, if it just feels hard and kind of daunting, I think if you keep decluttering your home and keep going further with that, I think you're gonna find that the cleaning really works itself out. And she's definitely decluttered her house over this past year, and I think that's what makes it feel manageable. And even now, like cleaning just, it's not something that I have to spend a whole day on or hype myself up for, or it gets so far behind now and then I have to spend a whole day doing it. Oh, did you know the Minimal Mom did a spring clean with me video? I wonder what she has to say. Oh no, 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 no. Did you see how far she took her oven door apart? I don't know if that's a good idea. So I would really encourage you, if you haven't been able to stick with the cleaning routine, don't worry about it. Keep simplifying your house and decluttering and getting rid of stuff, and I think the cleaning piece is totally gonna work itself out. That didn't even take 5 minutes, the timer's still going. How much time is left? Oh, it's about to go off. This timer is really dirty, I should clean this next. The kids have been playing with it. Well, clearly, as you can see, the 5 minutes of actually cleaning was much more effective. All right, well, I wanna go on to 5 minutes of decluttering, but as long as we're by the laundry room, I should probably switch out the laundry quick. Laundry is definitely one of those things where you just have to figure out what works for you. For us, I think it's Fly Lady that says, a load a day keeps the laundry monster away. But probably the biggest thing I do when it comes to laundry that has made the biggest difference, well, besides simplifying our clothes, but is that I deal with each load as it comes out of the dryer. And what's cool about it is it takes way less than 5 minutes. It doesn't even take 5 minutes. I think when I've timed it before, it takes 2 to 3 minutes, but it completely eradicates having piles around the house on the couch and in the chairs. It's a tough habit to get into because the temptation is just to pile it on top of the dryer or go bring it out to the laundry room. But if you can get in the habit of dealing with each load as it comes out of the dryer, you don't need laundry baskets anymore because you can carry it all in your arms. You won't have random piles floating around your house, and you're gonna feel like laundry is under control in your house. It's magical. It has made a huge difference, and it takes less than 5 minutes. All right, so we are going to get this started and go do some decluttering. All right, so we're here in the boys' room. I have mentioned my Monica closet before. It's gotten a lot better, especially after we did that whole house declutter. I got rid of a bunch of stuff in here, but it still needs some more like organization. And this is one of those spaces where at first glance, you're just like, let's just close the door. So for here, let's compare 5 minutes of Netflix versus 5 minutes of decluttering this space and just see, I don't know, Netflix might actually win out in this point, like a few minutes to relax and keep your mind off of the junk in there. So we'll see which is the winner this time around. Now remember, with a space like this, after 5 minutes, it might not even look all that much different, but here's the power of 5 minutes here. When we first open the door and look at all this clutter and all this stuff, it feels very scary. It feels daunting. Like I said, you just want to close the door and run away. But by telling myself, I'm only going to spend 5 minutes in there, you start to get a grip on what's actually in there again. And so one of my favorite tactics when you're tackling a space like this, when it's kind of a mishmash of stuff, is just to group like stuff with like stuff. So in this closet, we keep books, we keep photos and photo albums, like our baby boxes are in here, and then we also keep office supplies. But because no one's all that intentional when they come and put stuff away in here, it just gets all mixed up together again. So I can say, okay, I'm gonna put the photo stuff over here. I'm gonna put the office supplies over here. I'm gonna put the books and games down here, and just start to sort stuff out. And then through the process, I found some stuff to throw away and donate as well. I actually just found something we had been looking for. That's funny. I also forgot my garbage bag downstairs, so I'm gonna make a pile, and I don't normally recommend piles. I have to be careful how much I watch HGTV because then I want to do more projects in our house. But a show I've been watching a lot lately is No Demo Reno with Jen from The Rambling Redhead, and it is really funny. This first episode, I think it was the first one, where they did these people's kitchen, and they had like no kitchen space. It was really good. I recommend decluttering, but this show is actually really good too. And so like I said, after 5 minutes, it doesn't really look much better in here, but I'm not scared of it now. I don't want to run away and close the door. I actually, well, if I had more time right now, I'd want to keep going. Or if I come back and revisit this in another day or two, I feel encouraged about the space. I feel like I can do it and I don't feel so scared by it. So that's the power of 5 minutes here. It's not how much I got done because it really doesn't look different. It's that I am no longer intimidated by it. Okay, so here's our after shot after 5 minutes. Again, it doesn't look all that better, but I am no longer scared of it and I'm kind of excited to get this all finished up. But also remember this, often I don't actually feel better after I spend a bunch of time on Netflix, but I always feel better after I declutter, even if it's only for 5 minutes. I mean, I honestly can't think of a time that I didn't feel better after I decluttered. So it's not just about what we get done, it's how we feel about ourselves. And another way 5 minutes can make a gigantic difference is with frog projects, or projects and tasks that we put off and put off and put off. It can be things like taxes, making a phone call. I thought I was the only one that hated making phone calls. I know it's a generational thing too, but if you have to schedule appointments, follow up on something, we just put them off and put them off. But what's the problem? They hang over our head. And so if we can just say, I'm just gonna work on it for 5 minutes, it's amazing what we can get done. A lot of these things that we put off can often be completely dealt with in 5 to 15 minutes, and yet we let them hang over our head for so long. So I'll link to my other video on frog tasks, or my favorite productivity tip when it comes to frog projects. But taking 5 minutes to tackle something that we absolutely do not want to, again, we get some of it done. Often we want to keep going, but the biggest thing is overcoming the mental hurdle and being able to tell ourselves at the end of the day, hey, I did that even though I didn't want to. I also want to let you know that our Take Your House Back course is open right now and discounted, and it's new and improved. We've actually added more content to it, a ton more content. Tons of Facebook Lives, tons of Q&As, and also Cass, Dana, and I added our own like masterclass sections where we go a little more in depth into each of our own areas of expertise. And so it's better than ever. Right now it's only $99. You can find a link down below to sign up and see everything that's included with it. So you're definitely not alone if you ever just have a hard time getting going, getting started. But I hope that you can set the timer for 5 minutes, even if you don't have a super cool old school timer like this one. My mom got it at a garage sale. It's hers. I need to give it back to her, but I just love like the ticking and the ding. It reminds me of my childhood. But I hope you know that 5 minutes works for you too. Again, no matter what limitations or things work against you, set the timer for 5 minutes. Tidy, clean, declutter, tackle a frog project, and you are gonna feel so much better afterwards. So if you haven't done so already, I hope you subscribe so we can spend more time together. A thumbs up is the best compliment that you can give us. But otherwise, I love you. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you again soon.